Earlier today, DE announced through a developer workshop that they would be revisiting Augments, saying in the post, "As new Augments and new gameplay systems make their way into the game, the older Augments need some attention, and so the team has been assessing what we have and how they can possibly change. It should be noted that some Augments are tied to abilities that see very little use. However, these will be looked at later on when those same abilities are considered for a rework. For now, this workshop only covers Augments that we felt we could improve fairly without major overhauls to the base ability as well." The developer workshop is to go over the various Augments we are looking at and our considered changes to each one. Keep in mind, all changes here are impacted by other mods. This is just the proposed changes to the Augments themselves. So the Augment changes follow. For Hysterical Assault, they would let invulnerability linger for half a second when aiming to prevent getting downed immediately in high damage areas, and it would also increase the range. For Rising Storm on Ash, attacks by clones will raise the combo meter, and it would also include a passive benefit to extend the combo counter by a duration. For Titanic Rumblers on Atlas, they would increase the damage and speed, as well as making it so re-triggering the power will activate the taunt, as well as cause a knockdown effect. For Hallowed Eruption on Oberon, they would add an additional passive ability that triples the base duration. For Furious Javelin, it would increase duration and damage on the buff. For Tidal Impunity on Hydroid, it would increase the duration of the immunity buff. The Magnetized Discharge mod for Mag would include a passive benefit that increases the power range for that ability only. For Muzzle Flash on Mesa, kills made by a player with Shooting Gallery activated, it would generate a blinding AoE when the threshold is met. For Explosive Legerdemain on Mirage, it would increase damage and status chance when triggered. For Total Eclipse on Mirage, they would increase the range on the buff to other players. Piercing Roar for Rhino, allow the Roar to be recast when equipped, increase the debuff duration based on equipped mods, and generate a stagger effect on enemies when the Roar hits. For Contagion Cloud on Saren, it would allow the buff to activate when an enemy is killed by damage over time effects, and it would get a general increase of range and damage. For Transistor Shield on Vault, there would be no additional energy drain when a shield is picked up by another player, and it would increase the damage conversion percentage. The Target Flaxation Augment for Zephyr would remove the buff after 2 seconds of being on the ground instead of immediately, and the damage will increase per target hit. The following augments, Fireball Frenzy, Freeze Force, Smite Infusion, Venom Dose, and Shock Trooper for Ember, Frost, Oberon, Saren, and Vault, will make it so when you hold down the cast button, it will send out a wave much similar to expanding Warframe abilities, giving the elemental buff to every player it touches, including the caster. Those are all the proposed changes presented in the developer workshop. There's been no further developer comments in regards to this post, but if there are later this week, of course, Last Week in Warframe will go over it. They did say the following to finish up the post, however. Please be aware that during this process, tweaks and changes will be made to these alterations provided. We are always open to your feedback, so if you have any thoughts on the proposed changes above, we would love to hear your comments in the forum thread. Please make sure to keep your feedback constructive and concise so we can better compile your thoughts. So just like all of these, go to the forum post and give your feedback on these changes. If you want my opinion, don't really have one, don't use most of these Warframes, and when I do, I don't use any of these Augments, and these changes don't really make me want to use them at all. So, that's it. Thanks for watching the video. Hopefully I kept you informed. Leave a like. Yep, bye.